This series between the Lakers and the Suns is awesome on multiple levels. You've got two superstars showing what they're capable of at a high level of intensity, and a young star in Phoenix making his mark on his first playoff series. We've seen epic highlights from both teams, as well as some good old-fashioned fighting. But what makes this series even better is the chess match between the two teams, going back and forth with counters and new strategies to put themselves at a competitive advantage. One of the biggest keys of this chess match is the LeBron James-Anthony Davis pick and roll. And while we saw it a little bit in Game 1, the dynamics of this pick and roll combo were fascinating in the second half of Game 2. In this episode of Drawing the Defense, we're going to break down multiple examples of this play, including the base tactics, as well as the adjustments and the counter adjustments that each team made. So let's get started. To start the half, the Lakers have LeBron and AD run the pick and roll, and the Suns switch the action. Once the Lakers recognize the switch, they immediately go to AD in the post to isolate on Mikal Bridges. It's clear the Suns don't want AD to be able to go one-on-one with Bridges, so they have Crowder leave LeBron to double-team the post. From there, it's an easy decision for AD to kick the ball back out to LeBron for a three. The next time down the court, the Lakers run the same action, and the Suns defend it the same way, with Mikal Bridges doing his best to make the catch difficult for AD. He's not full-on fronting the post here, but when he gambles for the steal, he's also leaving the baseline vulnerable. So, instead of going to work in the post again, AD spins baseline on the catch, where the Suns have DeAndre Ayton helping. But AD's size and coordination is too much for Ayton as he gets the and one here. Just a minute later, the Suns had their counter to stop the bleeding. Instead of switching the action, they have Mikal Bridges ice the screen, which means that he's walling off and denying the screen, as well as the middle of the floor to LeBron. This in turn leaves a driving lane for LeBron, so the Suns have AD's man, Jay Crowder, contain that lane and stop any dribble penetration. Since Jay Crowder has now left AD open, someone needs to account for AD. In this case, CP3 comes from the weak side of the floor to help on the AD pop, and the Suns are allowing Dennis Schroeder to be open as they would prefer him shooting instead of AD. So LeBron Nash dribbles under the basket and has to decide who to pass it to. And at this exact moment, CP3 is perfectly splitting the difference between AD and Schroeder so that he can rotate to whoever gets the pass. In this case, it's Schroeder, and with CP3 ready to contest, he dumps it into Drummond for an awkward post-up and he loses the ball. The Lakers keep going to this pick-and-roll combo, and this time the Suns decide to ice the screen and have Crowder drop into the lane once again. A common counter for ice coverage is to have the screener flip the angle of the screen, which is what AD does here. This time, Devin Booker is on Schroeder, and while he's leaving him a little bit, he's not fully committed to rotating to AD. So Crowder tries to recover to the AD mid-range, but this is a shot that the Suns will live with since it's a long range too. Later on, when the Lakers come back to this action one more time, LeBron knows the Suns are going to ice the screen. So instead of trying to use the screen, he rejects it to drive and hits AD with a pocket pass. Both Crowder and Booker collapse on AD, which leaves Dennis Schroeder wide open for three. Fortunately for the Suns, Schroeder misses, and while they did give up an open look, at least it was to a player they view as less of a threat. Well, that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed, and remember to subscribe for more videos.